Now let's understand how we acquired this data, which is a task of data acquisition. So initially I mentioned that we actually work on real world data, right? So we actually got data from Amazon.com itself, but we wanted to obtain this data in a policy compliant manner. We didn't just want to go to Amazon.com and do web scraping. Web scraping is web scraping is a task of basically downloading one web page after other web page, which is against Amazon.com's policies of obtaining data. So we actually used Amazon's own product advertising API, right? This is a programmatic interface for us to actually, so you can land on this page. You can just Google search Amazon product advertising API and you would land on this page. This page explains how to actually obtain data from Amazon.com using any programming language of your choice in a policy compliant manner, which is very important. In a policy compliant manner, right? We just didn't want to break Amazon's policies when we were getting this data, right? So what we did was we used product advertising API to get data for women's tops, right? So for women's tops and shirts, right? We just searched for women's tops and we acquired data for roughly around 183,000 products. So for those of you who prefer the Indian system, it's 183,000 products roughly. For each of these products, we obtained all the interesting data, like we obtained a URL to an image of the product. So we obtained image URL, we obtained things like product title, product price, product description, etc., etc. Anyway, we'll see the data set in a while, right? But we primarily focused on the category of women's tops, right? So for those of you who are interested in obtaining their own data, in addition to this workshop, you can actually use Amazon's product advertising API in a policy compliant manner to obtain the data. So we actually used something called an item search. For those of you who want to explore this path, it's actually very, very simple. You just have to get an AWS access key and an associate key. And all I just said was, I said search index is fashion women, and we searched for keywords like women's tops, right? It's very, very easy. If you know REST protocol, or if you know how to use APIs on AWS, it's very, very easy. If you don't know this, please don't worry, because we've already downloaded this data, and in my next video, I'll explain you how to obtain this data from us and how to use it. So if you don't know how to use AWS or Amazon's product advertising API, please don't worry. For those of you who know how to use Amazon's product advertising API, or who know how to use APIs in general, we thought they could benefit from this video on understanding how we obtain this data ourselves.